So good day to all. Today we can discuss about regression towards mean in the subject foundations of data science. So what is regression towards the mean? It is one of the most important and most frequently misunderstood concepts in statistics and data science. Understanding it correctly is essential for drawing valid conclusions from data. So especially when evaluating the impact of interventions, treatments, or decisions. So why these extreme scores tend to drift back towards an average? So why this happens? So mainly, this concept deals with some collective data. So naturally, we can use in medicine, sports, education field, business field, finance, and psychology. Actually, it is formulated by the first formally identified by Sir Francis Galton in the 19th century, who is studying the relationship between the heights of parents and their children. He observed that children of very tall parents tended to be shorter than their parents, and children of very short parents tended to be taller, both groups moving towards the average height of the population. So, this is the actual thing which first leads to this topic regression towards mean. So, the regression towards mean refers to a tendency for scores, particularly scores, to shrink towards the mean. Okay. So this why this happen is extreme scores are extreme for two reasons. One is a genuine underlying ability quality should be taken far from average, and random chance or luck that happen to push the score even further in the extreme directions. So what is a statistical definition in terms that we can say that regression towards mean states that if one sample of a random variable is extreme, then the next sample of the same random variable is likely to be closer to its mean. So this is a mathematical consequence of the one-way random variation works. Extreme observations require not just a high true value, but also a favorable random concurrence. What is this regression fallacy? Also called as regression to the mean fallacy, is an informal logical fallacy. So it occurs whenever regression towards the mean is interpreted as a real, meaningful effect. This rather than a natural statistical fluctuation. So how it can be defined is the regression fallacy occurs when a person or analyst assumes that something has returned to normal because of certain actions taken, when in reality it was simple natural fluctuation. So why it's said to be dangerous? Some cases it means. So a coach example we can say a doctor may give a patient with very high blood pressure a new medication. If blood pressure drops on the next measurement, the drop may be partly or wholly due to regression to the mean, not the medication. Concluding the drug is effective without a control group commits the regression fallacy. So that is actually a misunderstanding we can say. One example is taken with a MLB batting averages. See this Major League Basketball tournament. Top 10 hitters average. What is the average in 2015? Average, whether it is regressed or not regressed. That is regression towards mean. So you see this last three data is having some far difference. So why it is considered to be not regressed? So average approximately 0.322 in the year 2014 and 0.312 in the year 2015. So it represents, from this analysis, we can say that 7 out of 10 players who were top hitters in 2014 showed lower batting averages in 2015. The group average dropped from approximately 3.22 to 3.12. So a decline of 0.010 points. So these players were selected precisely because they were extreme in 2014. Part of their extreme performance was due to chance. In 2015, chance was less likely to favor them equally. So the regression fallacy in this context represents the three players who did not regress also fit the theory. Their 2014 averages were the least extreme among the top 10. So leaving less room to regress. So it actually represents an oscillation around the mean. See this, if one sample of a random variable is extreme, the next sample of the same random variable is likely to be closer to the mean. So it should look like the pattern should be like a oscillation. When the trend moves down the mean, it tends to regress back towards it. The trend often overshoots, oscillating up and down around the mean. So it gives an oscillating nature. So the practical implications happens is understanding that scores naturally oscillate around the mean has several important practical things. Evaluation of treatments and interventions, then performance management, investment and finance, sports coaching, everything will be taken into account. But regression to the mean is more likely to be the same when even though we have some practical implications. So what are the things we have studied is regression towards the mean. What is the causes? What is the regression policy? What is this nature like oscillation with an example of MLB? And what is the thing? We have the key thing is always consider regression to the mean before attributing changes in extreme scores to an intervention, treatment, or policy. So regression towards the mean is not a flaw in the data or in the subject being measured. It is a fundamental statistical property of all measurements that involve random variation. Thank you. Hope you have understood.